The Great Foam Incident of Willow Creek Estates. My name is Cassandra L. Whitmore, and I'm not one for theatrics. I prefer the scent of freshly brewed coffee, the rustle of a good paperback, and a meditative piece of pruning my flower beds. But serenity has been harder to come by since the arrival of my neighbor, Savannah Kingsley. Savannah, with her platinum blonde hair that never seemed to frizz and a voice that could curdle cream, had a way of turning every shared space into a personal stage. When my husband and I moved into Willow Creek Estates a year ago, we'd been charmed by its quiet elegance and the community pool, a perfect reward after a long day of debugging code as a software engineer. To me, a few laps in the pool and the nostalgic scent of chlorine were as close as one could get to nirvana. To Savannah, the pool was a personal catwalk. At first, the disturbances were minimal. Fleeting glances over her oversized sunglasses as I passed her white draped cabana with a towel slung over my shoulder. Then came the snide comments, muttered under breath, but loud enough to pierce the silence. Remarks about how some folks clearly didn't know how to apply sunscreen, followed by smug chuckles from her equally bronzed entourage. Apparently, Savannah believed my SPF 50 couldn't compete with whatever unicorn serum she slathered on. But it wasn't just about me. The true tipping point came the day she scrutinized my grandkids. Little Naomi and Jordan had come to spend the weekend. Naomi was a straight-A student and an avid reader like me. Jordan, only 6, had recently taught himself to recite the alphabet backward. While I watched them paddle near the shallow end, I overheard Savannah whisper to her friend Blair, "Those kids need to be watched." Closely. Watched. For what? Planning a toddler coup. Stealing tanning oil? Her audacity was relentless. I tried to ignore it. Truly I did. But last Tuesday was the final straw. After a particularly grueling afternoon trying to untangle a nested loop in my code, I walked out, craving a brief swim. And there she was, Savannah, lounging like Cleopatra on a monstrous inflatable swan, holding a cocktail with a ridiculous umbrella, and regaling her fans with tales of her fabulous trip to Barbados. Her gaze met mine, a stare so icy it could have cooled the Mojave. That's when I knew enough was enough. I didn't want revenge. I wanted justice. The kind that bubbles. My plan was, in a word, inspired. A blend of mischief, chemistry, and old college theater tricks. Back in university, I had a roommate who majored in drama. During one particularly memorable winter play, she'd used theatrical foam, non-toxic, biodegradable, and, when combined with water, impressively expansive, to create fake snow. The idea simmered in my mind as I browsed local party stores and online forums. By Wednesday, my supplies were assembled. I stashed them under innocent towels in a nondescript bucket. The next morning, I stationed myself by the kitchen window, coffee in hand, watching for the show to begin. At exactly 10 a.m., Savannah strutted from her house. Neon orange bikini, gold wedges, and enough jewelry to signal low-flying aircraft. She tossed her swan into the pool and slipped into her usual position of leisure. This was my moment. Wearing my oversized gardening hat and a pair of sunglasses big enough to shame a Hollywood starlet, I walked slowly toward the pool with my bucket in hand. "Morning, Savannah," I sang out, my voice syrupy sweet. "Morning," she replied without looking up. "Gorgeous day for tanning. Swimming's a bit too pedestrian, don't you think?" I smiled tightly. "Oh, absolutely. I just thought I'd enhance the experience a little." Before she could question me further, I made my move. With a flourish that would make my theater major roommate proud, I dumped the entire bucket of concentrated foam into the pool, right next to her inflatable swan. At first, it was subtle, gentle bubbles rising like champagne. Then, like a scene from a madcap holiday film, the foam exploded. It frothed. It bubbled. It billowed. Within seconds, it surged upward like an angry cloud, engulfing Savannah's swan and rising past her knees. Her screech could have cracked diamonds. "What the Cassandra?" she shrieked, flailing her arms as the foam lifted her swan in a slow, undulating wave. Her friends screamed, scattering like sunburned squirrels. Designer sunglasses were left behind. Mojitos floated aimlessly. Chaos reigned. I clasped my hands to my face in mock alarm. Oh no, could it be a chemical imbalance? You did this. Savannah pointed at me, her hand dripping with white suds. Don't be absurd, I replied. I only added a bit of an eco-friendly enhancer. The package said it was safe. By this point, the foam was creeping across the deck, nearing the cabanas. Women scrambled to rescue handbags and stilettos. The entire pool area looked like a bakery had exploded. Then came Mr. Preston Abernathy, president of the Homeowners Association, storming in like a general arriving at the front lines. What in the name of municipal order is going on here? Savannah, still frothy and furious, pointed at me. She poured something in the pool. Arrest her, or fine her, or whatever you do to people who foam up community property. Mr. Abernathy turned to me, face redder than a lobster. Cassandra, is this true? I exhaled dramatically, as though deeply wounded. I did pour in a little foam enhancer to make the water more magical. I didn't expect this much magic, though. This, he gestured to the scene, looks like a shaving cream factory exploded. Well, it is biodegradable. Good for the planet. I chimed. He sighed, deeply. The kind of sigh that comes from years of wrangling suburban chaos. Just clean it up. Alone? Mr. Abernathy, surely the pool crew. Just do what you can. He turned to Savannah. You may want to rinse off. Savannah, now fully resembling a ghost from a cartoon, huffed and waddled off, leaving a trail of suds in her wake. I spent the next hour poking the foam with a long broomstick, watching it dissolve onto the hot sun. Eventually, the maintenance team arrived, confused but cooperative. The pool was spotless by evening. Savannah, on the other hand, wouldn't make eye contact for days. She crossed streets to avoid me. Her reign as pool queen? Over. Something shifted in the air around Willow Creek after that. A few of the neighbors, those who once nodded politely but never spoke, began greeting me warmly. I'd earned a strange badge of respect. Weeks later, Naomi and Jordan returned. As we strolled past the pool, Savannah glanced up from her cabana and, shockingly, offered a small, sheepish wave. Naomi waved back. Grandma, Naomi whispered, are we doing bubbles again today? I smiled. No, honey, no more bubbles. Just swimming. And as I watched them splash and laugh in the water, I knew I'd made my point. Everyone deserves a place in the pool, no matter their skin tone, their sunscreen, or their swimming skills. And if not, well, I still have that bucket. Just kidding. Maybe.